Hey everyone, welcome back to Sister Talks. At this point, you've been tuning in regularly, so you know what this pod is all about. And if you're new, well, you'll catch on rather quickly. This is your co-host, Shanice, with Succeed with Shanice.
And I am Jay with my Core Memory Vaults YouTube channel.
And today we're going to start off reflecting on how the seasons are changing. So if you've been looking outside around this time, you're starting to see the leaves change and the weather shift. And pretty much, going into fall, we want to start manifesting. However, I failed to do my manifesting board in your planner, and I slated to do it tomorrow. So since I have not done mine, and we're just going to move on to the next topic, but we will revisit our manifestations later on, maybe in the next episode or a few episodes from now, because we also want to make sure that we're reminding ourselves to reflect and plan and grow in this space that we're in. So that's my bad for not doing it before this recording. Okay, so we'll move right along to the word of the day. And interestingly, I cannot take credit for this. I actually looked up because I figured there has to be some type of like word of the day app of some sort. And lo and behold, Merriam-Webster, if you're familiar with that, you just aged yourself. But the renowned dictionary actually has an online word of the day. And every day it gives you a word to reflect on. So today we're going to reflect on the word impetuous. And it's just defined as acting or doing something quickly and without thought. So, for instance, my morning routine is impetuous in that I just kind of am robotic at doing all the things I need to do very quickly so I can start my day. So that's a new word of the day for everyone. Feel free to use it or, disregard it in your everyday vocabulary. And I'll continue to partner with the Merriam-Webster dictionary to bring in some more words for our conversation. So yeah, that's my word of the day. Would you like me to punt it to you for the next topic?
Sure. And before we get started on the next topic, I have an announcement. So as you guys know, we are trying to grow things on our end, which means that sometimes we get super busy. And also, as you know, I edit this podcast. So this podcast will start going out on Mondays just to give a little more time to edit and get things out while I'm working on different projects. Maybe, giving myself 2 days. Wasn't too realistic in the grand scheme of things. So we're back to Mondays, which will mean that our reviews will be a week out by the time the podcast comes out. Or a week behind. So we are going to review today the second episode of Salt Lake City. And by the time this comes out, the third episode would have been out. But, it just gives us time to ruminate, I guess, and then talk about the episodes of Salt Lake City. So for this episode, Lisa made an appearance. Evidently, everything with the contracts worked out. So I'm going to ask Shanice, what was your first impression of the episode?
Well, one, I'm happy Lisa's back. I'm glad everything worked out because I don't know if I would have continued watching if it didn't. So happy it worked out. I don't want to die. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And shenanigans have already started. I'll start off there. I feel, yeah, I feel we're only in episode 2 and already there's just mess.
Even outside rumors, because I always hesitate to be like, oh my gosh, like I like this person, whether they're like in my culture or not, because, in the past, we've said we like somebody and then they go off and embarrass us. But it's interesting that there were so many rumors, like even on Reddit, then to where they had to like write articles to be like, no, she didn't donate a bunch of money to like the MAGA or whatever is happening. So it's just like interesting how much lies. It's like, you have something special, you're onto something special, and people go out of their way to try to make people dislike you. And I'm happy that I didn't take it for face value, but it's like interesting then to also see it play out on the show. So like then who said that she was, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they're not even like, she's not, no offense, she's not big enough for people to be lying, but she's big enough like for the lies to be out there. It's like, okay, but who's telling these lies? It's like, you guys are, it's weird.
Yeah, it's like they want to paint this. I mean, it's a reality show. And yet,
But it's not reality.
it doesn't feel real. The mythomania past word that we've had on this podcast is like front facing. Like they are really using that as a tool to paint this picture of how we should, I guess, perceive her. But then at the same time, like me personally, who am I to even have an opinion?
Correct.
So it's very interesting how many lengths they're going to make us believe, one, all of these lies, and two, all of these lies that contradict each other, and you see it play out in real time as you're watching the show. It's weird. It's very,
and I think just because you say like you like somebody, or just because like the overall audience does like Lisa in comparison to everybody else on the show, that doesn't mean that Lisa's perfect, and we're going to get into that. But that doesn't mean that she's perfect. She's just a little more relatable than the rest. Like it's like, who would you want to be sitting at your table, Lisa or anybody else there?
Exactly.
So, I wrote, when I was watching, I wrote down 4 like key takeaways. Like all I had was 4.
Yeah, let's go one
so
by
I
one.
guess we'll go
because it's probably the same takeaways for me. I'm still holding out. It's only episode 2, so I'm still reserving my opinions. Kind of.
I'm going to have opinions, and it's probably going to change throughout. But this will be a nice little like, this is what I felt at that time. So my first one is when they were doing another fireside chat the next morning.
Ugh.
And I forgot what they were talking about. I think it was
they revisited the whole, what Heather said, but...
No, what Bronwyn said.
What Bronwyn said.
Revisited that. But Whitney said something. I think they were talking about when Heather was talking about motherhood. I should have took better notes, but I was watching the show. When Whitney was talking about her desire, which I completely understand, how she is excited for her kids to like leave the house because then she gets to live her life.
Right.
And everybody wanted to act daft, like they didn't understand what she was saying, but like she grew up in a like Mormon church, and she felt as though, I'm not Mormon, so I don't know, but she felt as though her life was really controlled. So this is going to be the first time she actually gets to live. So she was
talking about Heather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like she was really excited about that, and then Bronwyn was like, "Well, I actually moved my my daughter's boyfriend in because I like that's like how I see myself as a mother, and I'm not ready for her to leave." And da 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 da, which in her confessional, she was like, "I don't feel like I did what I needed to do as a mother," but she didn't say that at the fireside chat.
Exactly.
So it was taken as like, "Well, I love being a mother," and it's just like, Heather's not saying she don't like her kids. Like Heather
Right.
loves her children,
She's
which is
just
why
ready for an empty nest.
right, but which is why she made all the decisions that she made and
Mm-hmm.
like got ostracized by so many people because she did not want her daughters to have to go through what she went through. Her words. So,
Which,
yeah.
pause. Her daughters are amazing.
Oh yeah.
They have. It's weird to watch the kids grow up
Mm-hmm.
too over the show. They look amazing. They're doing amazing things. Both of them are off to college now, or one just graduated.
I think one is going to college. That was the conversation.
Right. The last one's going to college. So like that. Just kudos to Heather.
And they're like they have a good head on their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shannon Bedore's daughters. From remember that show where all of the like Giselle, we've talked about this before.
Oh yeah,
her daughters are the same. Like they just have a good head on their shoulders,
That's
and
true.
they're not like obviously you can tell that they they grew up with some change to rub together.
Right.
They didn't struggle, but they don't act like la di da.
Mm-hmm. Or high sedity. They're very relatable, to an extent.
But it's like I don't relate.
Right.
But it's like they're not.
What's the word?
I don't know. But they're great. But back to this conversation. Whitney then goes on to say something.
Dang, what did Whitney say?
I do not know. But it causes Mary to say something. I think Whitney started talking about her business again.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mary was just like, oh yeah, like I can see how that can be like difficult or something like that. Not being shady at all. But then Whitney turns to Mary and is like, how's your son doing?
And that, go ahead.
And I just thought that was beyond petty because that's like, I think it's interesting, Bravo just in general. They're always, when it's like non-black children, they're always like, keep the kids out of this, like don't da-da-da-da-da. But whenever it's black children, they are so quick to bring up the kids and just
weaponize it.
Yes.
It's not even like bringing up out of care. You're weaponizing the
like you do not care about those kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with like Garcelle's kids. In that thing with Erica. It was Beverly Hills. Now that I brought it up, I will say. Garcelle, obviously black. I think she's Jamaican. She has two mixed boys. And Erica, she like started cussing at her kid, like at some party. Like, cause she was like drunk, which is not an excuse as well. But she was like,
why are you addressing my kid though?
Why are you even don't talk to my child at all? But it's like they kept bringing it up. And so it's like, and like replaying it and da-da-da. And he's like high school age, right? So it's just like, protect these kids. Like, I don't understand why we are doing this. But for Heather to turn around and just the way she said it was just like, well, how's your son doing? Like, oh, we're talking about my stuff. But how's your son doing? Mm-hmm. What's your stuff? What's your whatever? And I just felt like that was a little, I don't know. And her face when she did it, that was just.
And Whitney's really good about being that petty person. Like anything that comes from her mouth, yes, there could be some truth to the situation that she's dealing with her business. Fellow entrepreneur, girl, I'm sorry it happened, whatever. But it's always like a ramp up to her pettiness. Mm-hmm. But she hits too deep. Like, and I will forever love the Atlanta wives. Their petty is petty. Like, okay, that's funky key. Whitney, she goes for the jugular every time. But she has no basis for it. It's like she's being set up. Like, to me, outside looking in, it's like somebody told you
to say
this in this moment.
But also, I don't even want to call what she does petty. And I'm not even going to, I wrote down at the time, demonic. Because the way she said it and smiled, and she's done this on multiple occasions where it's like, she knows she's about to say something hurtful to you and she'll just fucking smile.
Like she enjoys watching the chaos.
Yes. And it's like really weird to watch her face in those moments. Like, I don't know why she does that. And I don't understand why she doesn't have limits, because even with Atlanta, when Kenya did,
Oh,
what
yeah.
Kenya did, there was still a limit and everybody was aware of that limit. Whereas like in SLC, everybody just sits there and act like
And they all just sat
she's
there
not doing what she's doing.
and waited for Mary to respond. First of all, Mary, you didn't have to respond to that.
Correct.
That is your household. We're not going to go back to church. Let's bring it back to SLC. But as a Christian woman, Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah. As a
something.
Christian woman who's a first lady of a church, you already know, keep your home business at home.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you sat on here and allowed her to bait you and you walked right through the door to, I guess, play along to get along, whatever the saying is you need to also protect your son.
Right.
You also failed in that moment. Not just Bravo, because even though, yes, Bravo's paying you, they don't care about you or your kids. This is all a show. This is all for business. But you signed that contract.
Yeah.
You read over it. You should make sure your kid is protected at all times, especially in the position that he's in right now, where he's very vulnerable and very, I don't want to use the word sensitive in the sense of like the way it's always used, but sensitive in the sense of anything can just trigger him.
And it's
to go back to those old habits.
It's a sensitive situation.
Yeah, I mean, for them to have the legalese, I call it legalese, but that's not what it's called.
Yeah,
right
to
after
be
the
like,
episode.
oh, if you know somebody that's struggling, like, this is serious. And so that brings me to 1.5 point, because I wasn't going to talk about this, but now that it's up here, like, I want people to be a lot more careful with their kids. Like, and even if you are going to say, okay, let's put the show on Bravo because people are dealing with this and people's kids are dealing with this, make Bravo pay for rehab. The same $30,000 a day rehab that they sent Jax to, he paid so much money for a month of rehab to just sit there to come out and act just as foolish as when he went in there.
Right, caveat, she's toggling between multiple shows, guys.
I am, because, yeah. But like,
there's no Jackson in Salt Lake City.
I write that in a contract to be like, okay, if you want to do your little film, you want to do your little show, you're going to send my kid to the best facility for a long period of time.
Correct.
And so he can come out with everything he needs. And if you're going to have a conversation on air, be willing to have the whole entire conversation.
Correct.
Or don't have it on air. Here are the facts. Barely any black folks up in that Salt Lake City.
Exactly.
Okay? Your son cannot find friends. The friends that he did find are doing them drugs. So now he spent all the time in the room, which is also interesting that he spent all the time in his room doing these drugs. Because that means even the friends he did find weren't inviting him out to places, again, because he's black in Salt Lake City. Maybe a theory, I think, because he's black in Salt Lake City. So if he's also saying that, like, oh, like, I'm going back into a place where I used to do heavy substances like all the time, and it's kind of like triggering me, you got the money, redo that room. Make it look completely different, or choose a different room in the house. Hey, well, okay, well, we're going to move your room down to the master or something, or move one of your closets, because we've seen all your closets. So it's just like, make it to where he's walking into a completely different room so he can start fresh. It's the same thing we do regularly. Whenever you want a fresh start, you always like change your hair. Like, I move my room around, but like, people get their hair cut. It's the same thing. I just felt like they were having like a very surface conversation. And I hate it when people do that, when it's like a deep topic that they know that they're not really prepared to listen to. So if you know that you can't be that person for your child, find that person for your child. Because like, when they're opening up to you, you can't be like, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised, or oh, I'm going to cry. Like, you have to be that solid ground. And for that to be like televised, I just feel like it didn't do anything for him. From the outside.
No, I agree. And I think it was a disservice for him because, I mean, I haven't been to Salt Lake City, But the way y'all depict this city, it seems small. It seems like everybody know everybody, or at least there's like 2-3 degrees separation. And for you to not just televise what I believe should have been an intimate moment between a mother and their son, but then also televise that there are other people, your friends, having fireside chats about him, he's going to see that one day. And so to be in a space where you already feel isolated, disconnected, and then now see on pretty much national TV that folks are talking about how you feel isolated, disconnected, and then goodness forbid he goes to the interwebs and people have a lot of opinions, just like this podcast, on how it all went down. It's like he's now in this perpetual cycle of having to experience the trauma over and over and over again. And that doesn't help in his healing process. So putting responsibility back on you, Mary, because Bravo ain't gonna do it. What was in your contract when it came to the conversations and the topics or themes around your son? And if it was about the situation that he was in for an educational enrichment purpose, whatever, get an expert in the room, because it doesn't seem like anybody around that fire was any expert in what he's going through. So get somebody on this show who can really speak to, similar to any other Bravo show. They always bring in like insert well-known lawyer, insert well-known psychologist. Bring someone who's an expert who can talk about what is actually going on and impart some or a little bit of wisdom before just, I don't know, just plugging in, this happens, and if you're dealing with it, call this number. Yeah, but the way that you framed it, it was just like
sit
you said,
there,
surface level.
We listen to y'all talk about everything else, y'all stupid little parties and all that.
Everything
And I
else.
think that's why I say like there's no black people in SLC, like in terms of their circle,
Vantage
because
point.
all their big parties that they have, it is just Mary
Yep.
when she's invited. So it's just like, and when they go out to eat, I look at the background.
The extras.
Very few black, if any. So
or
it's
even
just
just
like,
those working.
so it's
I
just
haven't
like
seen
in
any.
terms of community, in terms of people who like actually care, like I can see if they were having a conversation about it, because also if he was doing drugs with somebody, he's not the only person suffering like this in that city.
Yeah, because he used to bring a girl
Correct.
to the house.
Who was disrespectful, didn't say hello.
And you could tell she was
just
on something.
But I don't care what you're on. When you walk into somebody's house, you speak.
Very true.
But that's neither here nor there.
Everybody's on the same
Everybody's
manners.
culture is different. But obviously, like, they're struggling as well.
Yeah.
And they're not the first, because where'd they get it from? Like, things to look into. Like, if you're going to shout, and maybe this is just a personal thing. So in my opinion, if you are going to be shouting that like Salt Lake City is like Mormon, and we have like values and then have the values. Make sure there's not these substances in your city. Make sure that everybody who's like suffering has what they need to like get better. But that was point 1.5. Second point. I do not like, and I think people should be weary of, because, you know, we talk about like friendships on just in general
On
a
the
lot.
pod.
And the fact that Heather ran to Lisa
Oh,
to have lunch with her to tell her side, and then not bring up the fact that Brittany was the one that stuck up for her,
yeah.
and then said that she was the one that stuck up for her is crazy. It's crazy. That was just...
Oh, and now we all know Heather. If you don't know, you'll find out very quickly if you start watching the show. She does what she needs to do. I'll put it that way. But Lisa. Usually you could see straight through people. You had in that, because I'm getting ahead of myself. In that scene, I could tell. And that's where my heart was like, no, Lisa, don't. She got in her emotions. And Heather has upgraded herself a little bit in how to push those buttons
Oh yeah.
to get emotions out. But I wish this was the one time where Lisa would be, normal Lisa, where there's no emotions, it's all science and logic. Like, well, what did you say? And no one else said anything. But she was in her emotions. I understand it's heavy. Lisa, you're human. I get it. I just wished and I hoped that she would have just put your emotions aside real quick and consider the source and listen to what she's saying because it's not adding up. But it'll come out in the wash, I'm sure.
But like also watching that made me like rethink my importance on my like self-esteem. Because I've noticed like even in the conversation or even as like Lisa was coming up, like obviously whether they were dismissed or not, she was still going through these lawsuits or whatever, people were questioning her business. So, but you can tell like she's not as like self-assured as she was in previous seasons.
That's true.
And what I wish for her and what I'm going to work on for me is, and I think it's easier for me because I'm not like super successful yet. Whereas like she obviously is, but I want to be who I am and believe who I am, whether I have the money or not, whether I'm in the lawsuits or not, whatever is going on doesn't change like who I am. So it's like, it was, and she said it a little bit, although Heather took it the wrong way when she was like, I'm not like the rest of you.
Well, she is not. That is a fact.
Yeah. And she was like, my business is not, and she doesn't have just one. She has multiple businesses in multiple countries or wherever they went.
Multiple countries.
Yeah, multiple countries. So it's like hers are a little different and intricate, and she has a team, and she has like things that she has to like. There are more things. Yeah, there are more things that she has to manage. Heather took it as like a slight.
Of course she would, and I think that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, I was gonna say, and she would, because again, we're not the same. You took it as a slight, Heather, because you too are not confident in where you are at with your business. And I guess with me wanting to, like similar to you wanting to make sure that I'm always staying confident in who I am and what I have and where I'm going in life, I also want to surround myself with people who aren't looking at me as competition. So when I say something like, we're not the same, you don't take that as a slight. That's a fact. That is a legitimate fact. Y'all are in two different industries. Heather, you're running one business. She's running three. Three?
She got maybe some 4 drinks. She got some little hotel, that bar
but
thing.
She has something with her husband too. So I think it's 3. Can't remember. So yeah, we're not the same. That doesn't make me higher or lower.
You're right.
And maybe that's something deeper when it comes to like cultural hierarchy or Mormonism. I don't know anything about being Mormon. So maybe that's a thing.
Because she's still Mormon.
And Heather's not. Yeah. So maybe, but in any case, factually, we're not the same.
Right.
And we don't need to be the same to be in the same room or to be able to support each other.
Right.
So, sorry.
No. Yeah, because all the rest of these are going to be about Lisa. So that next point was, Lisa, take a breath, I wrote. These people are manipulating you and don't get distracted.
I was screaming at the TV, just breathe. You want to set the scene?
I think, so I wrote that while her and Heather were talking.
Oh, I thought it was
but it still stands true for the next part. But my part, I have one more before we talk about that. Because when Heather was saying, which I am also going to work on just letting people talk, let Heather say the whole story, just so she can trip over her words. Because obviously she's lying, or she's lying by omission because she is just lying.
Yeah, she's painting a picture to make herself look good.
But she knows the trigger things to say to then, which is why I'm like, I need to work on this. Knows the trigger things to say for then Lisa to be like, I can't believe they would do that. And this one in front and to go from 0 to 100. And I used to do that more often than I do now, but I know that is still an issue instead of just like sitting back and like listening, because obviously if you were in a space where everybody's talking about me and you're still in that space,
Mm-hmm.
I should have been like, what did you say?
Right. What did you say exactly?
Right.
Did
And
you
when
walk
did you say
away?
it? Right.
Oh, you stayed. Okay, so then what did you say? How did you cut the scene?
Right. Because how were they able to say so much about me
So much.
for you
And
to
how
then
are
just run
you
back and tell me?
able to say, quote unquote, so much in my defense, but also recognize other people who didn't all at the same time? Mm-hmm. Like, where you weren't engaged enough in my defense, if that's the case.
And when?
And when?
Because it panned to them talking at that little picnic table, but Brittany said something in the RV.
Right, from the start. Because y'all was talking about Lisa from the start.
Correct.
Before the RV left the parking lot, really.
Correct.
After the little strippers.
And then to be like, which I hate it when people do this, to be like, oh, like you and Bronwyn used to be friends, you have to make it right. You do not have to be friends with anybody who's hurt you. And the thing is, like, it goes the same in reverse. If I've hurt you, you definitely don't have to be my friend. So it's just like.
And wasn't she not her friend for like a whole half a season until the Jen Shaw thing came out? Or no, until that girl that worked for Jen Shaw came out.
Oh, yeah.
That season. Heather wasn't friends with Lisa that entire season.
Yeah.
But you're going to tell me I have to, for the sake of the group.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not a martyr. So,
and I'm not going to do it. Like, you can choose to be friends with your cousin because that's your cousin. Right. Although she dragged you for a whole entire season and lied on your name multiple times.
Dragging her.
And definitely sets you up.
Oh, yeah, her and Bronwyn, the canoe.
Yeah, definitely sets you up. But also, you're the type to
go with it.
Play the game. Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know why you do that. But that's neither here nor there. And that's none of my business. Mm-hmm. But I just hate it when people do that. So that was the like breathe, you get distracted. But that's gonna be a theme, because then we go to now the party, where again
I feel bad for the party host.
Imagine, but a party where a whole bunch of people are standing around with little hors d'oeuvres.
Now, no black people mind y'all,
right? And it didn't look like there were like any games. It
didn't
look like
or entertainment.
Everybody was just like standing.
Yeah.
But
or food.
I thought it was interesting. So they're all in this party. Lisa comes a little bit later, as you should. Okay. But Lisa comes a little bit later. She walks in. She's now talking to Brittany comes up, Meredith, whom did not stick up for her, and Heather.
Right.
And then they said that Angie at the place, at the little campground, said that Lisa's basically Jen Shaw. Mm-hmm. And so like Lisa got upset and she was like, oh, I'm going to go talk to her. Should I go talk to her? And Meredith was like, yes.
Not a good friend.
And then I was like, okay, no, because your things are in the court. There's a whole bunch of people of like bougie of Salt Lake City at this place. Mm-hmm. If I'm your friend, I'm going to say, no, talk to her later.
And Meredith, you're a lawyer.
Correct.
So you already know that was not a good time.
Correct.
Not a good place for her brand.
And so that's when that also was like, breathe, they're manipulating you. You don't have to listen to your friend on things to do. Mm-hmm. Look at all these people in here. Anyway, she goes to talk to her. Somehow Angie brings up Bronwyn.
Yeah, random.
And then Bronwyn comes and completely gets rid of the Jen Shaw conversation, which is a legitimate conversation.
The whole thing.
To then start talking about nonsense. And here's my fourth and last point. Although now that we're talking about this, there'll be more. Lisa says, did I write down exactly what she says? Lisa says, I'm not talking to you, Bronwyn. Like, this conversation is over.
You are dismissed.
You are dismissed. She says that. And my point was, when you set a boundary, it is your job to uphold it.
Yep.
So when you say you are dismissed, they are dismissed.
Act accordingly.
Govern yourself accordingly. And it's your job to be the enforcer of that. They're not going to help you with your boundaries. How does that benefit them? So the fact that Lisa continued having this conversation, which then turned into an argument, which then turned into her looking foolish at this party.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, if you would have kept with the boundaries in which you set, it would have never got here.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, obviously, they compared you to Jen Shah. They didn't need to tell you at that party.
No,
But they compared you to Jen Shah. I'm mad that Brittany sticking up for you didn't come up, but hopefully you'll watch the rest of us. Because, like, nobody likes Brittany, and I can understand why.
She's a weird bird.
She's very weird for her
but
age.
She is entertaining.
But, like, and I want better for her kids. But when right is right and wrong is wrong. Yes. And she did stick up for you.
Yeah.
Not saying she has to be your best friend, obviously, but the facts are she's the only one in that RV that stuck up for you. Meredith didn't say a thing, but she's telling you to go then have an argument. And then so now, boom, you're deep in argument. And then Meredith comes in being like, hey, guys, let's not do this here. You sent her over there.
Exactly. You lit the match.
Yes.
I think this episode specifically, but this entire season is going to really shed light, if folks pay attention, on what friendship should not be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think and it's going to all kind of revolve around Lisa, because it was set up, which bravo, production, editors, y'all did a really good job. Because last season it ended with her questioning, or I guess at the reunion, her questioning, is she safe with all of these girls?
Mm-hmm.
So the segue into this, it makes sense from a production value perspective. And Lisa, now you know the game. Don't let them see you sweat. Who am I? But you may not be able to afford it. Because one thing about her that I enjoy the most is she cares a lot about how she impacts other people, mm-hmm. and how she shows up in spaces. Because we've seen her on other shows too, mm-hmm. with Bravo, and she values how much she can give to whatever that space is and whoever she's with. Don't let them use that to your detriment.
Yeah. And
that's something that, at least for the overall episode, I took, other than breathe, girl, breathe. Mm-hmm. Because her brain, when she has a beautiful brain when it's in action, like it just went away. And yes, very triggering for them to compare you to Jen Shah. I would be highly upset myself. But the fact that they did that, knowing what's going on with you and your businesses, all a tactic. See it as that and wait until they say cut scene, then go off. Because I'm going to go off regardless, but you're not going to catch me on this camera doing it. Or amongst, I don't know whose house they were at, but it seemed like a very important lady. So also amongst all of the rest of the community, which I'm assuming are also Mormon, and part of the same Mormon church. So it's going to be interesting to watch it all unfold. But I think one thing I'm really going to pay attention to is the dynamics or the representation of friendship or lack thereof.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't think people realize that business in general, and it took me a long time. So I'm not even saying this as like, I know better than everybody. No, this is something I had to learn too. But business in general is not a stagnant or linear thing at all. Like you can be up this year and down the next. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, okay, her businesses are down now or whatever. Like,
but is her businesses really down, or is it just normal legal hiccups? I don't know what else to call it, that a business would experience after a certain years in the...
It's down. The man was saying she borrowed the money and all types of whatever in that thing. And they're trying to say that like, oh, she must have been... This is another thing. They're trying to be like, oh, she must have been sleeping with him for him to like give money. Because Bronwyn was like, my husband gives me money. Like, I know where my money is coming from. But where is Lisa getting her money? But like also last season, you were just talking about how you were concerned that your husband was cheating on you.
And is that going to come up this season? Bravo.
So it's just like, it's just,
Are we gonna
but
finish
again, you
that
can
out?
be up this year, down the
the
next.
next.
So it's just like, even if that was something,
But it doesn't feel like, I don't know.
I personally
And then because
wouldn't
it's my
read a
knowledge
multiple page lawsuit to
attack
get
someone
some
with it.
dirt
Yeah.
for y'all not paying me to read this.
Exactly.
Like lawyers get
Exactly.
paid money to read and write those things, but I just think that was really interesting. But I was saying, when she's back up, you realize who, and I've started doing this, you realize who is doing what whilst you're down. And you govern yourself accordingly.
That's the moment you pay close attention with who's around you and how they move.
And like once people start acting crazy, they no longer need to have access to like your personality, the things you give to a space, like none of that. You can just stonewall them and just call it a day. But again, takes practice.
Yeah, they could be economy. They can sit all the way in the back. Actually, they could be outside of the airport.
You say tarmac,
looking for parking or looking for somewhere to pull up and get out. And when you're ready to give them access to the airport, then by all means, give them access. Because, in business, that's how you make money. You need consumers. And you choose the level or the tier of consumerism those individuals can have. Because they showed exactly who they are and where they wanted to be placed.
Which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm happy that like I am, in this period now. So it's like, okay, when I grow my business, then I can like, when I make friends, like I know what things I want to look for, all of the things. But I can only imagine how sad it can be when, you're a little bit older, you have a family, your kids go to this church. Well, he's on a mission now, but like your youngest kid
I wonder how his mission's going.
Goes to this church, and like now you're having to like struggle through this with your friends, and then also watch people watch you act out of character. But yeah, that was that. We will do episode 3 next week. I want to shift gears quickly for the next like 5 minutes, because we're going to end on time today, to just when we talked about the trial. Well, it wasn't a trial. It was a hearing last week.
It was a sentencing.
Last week.
They got pushed out.
And I wish I remembered more of what I read, but I wanted to just close this out because I don't think we need to talk about it past this.
I'm over it.
It's like devastatingly interesting. So turns out he had more money than what we thought. Was that like because he started doing do you have to say allegedly now?
No, he pleaded guilty to all counts.
Okay, so he started doing what he was doing in like 2017.
Correct.
So like the house that he had purchased with the stolen money from the churches.
Multiple houses, actually.
They've appreciated. And there's a house that's like $26 million.
Yes. I think it was like 26.
And that's just one house.
And another one was 14 million.
So them saying that him saying he does not have the means to pay back the church the money that they stole, sell that house. But he's not going to do it because now they're only asking for like 250
time served.
And he was when did I come in?
And he gets to maintain his ministry.
Because I came in your room and I was pissed because I was looking for I found like the more recent one that you sent. And then I was trying to make sure I spelled his name right. So I typed it into Google and then I saw that there was like a Facebook Live, but it was dated for the day before when I came into your room. And I was like, this can't be true because he just had a hearing. So why would he be live?
Right.
And then so I clicked on it because I'm nosy. And it was a sermon. He was giving a sermon. And people were like in the chat being like, oh, praise God, and do 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 do, and ba da 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 da. And it's just like, you just stole all this money from the church. You have all these houses with the stolen money, and they're asking for pennies back and giving you time served.
Pennies. Because these individual churches have to work their own situation out in regards to getting their deeds back or maintaining the loans. Loans? Yeah. The loans that he already left them with. I don't even know how else to put it. But he pretty much left them with debt. And so they have to figure out what they're going to do on an individual basis. But it's wild to me that he's still able to click a button and still be live. But we've also seen many other accounts on social media where folks are, as long as they have a mic, they get the claps and the likes. So,
which is crazy, because then people are doing like legitimate things and they're not even getting like the same
people like these
following.
2 women here on this pod.
But like, seriously, or like not even getting as much reach. It's like they know that you're about to do some like nefarious activity, and they want to make sure that like you're as successful as possible at it.
Yeah, because even for the algorithm to push that live to you that quick, he literally was sentenced on Tuesday. You came in my room on Thursday, maybe. Maybe it was Thursday. So it gets discouraging. For me, I try really hard not to pay attention, but it's hard.
Oh yeah,
it's like, what? Where is this world coming?
Because they try to make you be like, oh well, do everything the right way, because you, like, you'll go to jail if you don't,
or karma.
Right. But we continuously watch it work out for people. Not to say that I'm about to do some nefarious activity, because also I'm really sensitive in the fact that like my conscience won't allow me to.
I can't.
The amount that I be lecturing on here, like, this is only but a snippet of what goes on in my head. So like, there's no way I would be able to sit with myself to do like nefarious activity. But yeah, that is that.
Yeah. That's a weird way to end the pod, but that's how we're going to end today.
I have an announcement.
Oh.
I should have announced it in the beginning.
You did start with announcements, but go ahead.
My bad. For my planner. So as you all know, I've been working on this planner for quite some time, around 3 years now. And the 2026 planner is set to go out very soon, but I wanted to give people a chance to try it. And, you shouldn't really wait for you to be able to set your goals and like work on things.
You should be going all the time.
So I am putting a like free trial, if you will, of the planner, and I will link it in the description. I will write a note to remind me to link it in the description, but I'll link it in the description. And it is October through December of 2025. So you can get it started immediately. It's a digital planner. So it will work for good notes. It will work for free notes. It will work for all those little note PDF taking things. And then the 2026 planner will be coming out sometime in November, which will be a digital planner as well as a physical planner. And that's for like the whole year, 2026, not just 3 months. But yeah, so get your free planner. And that was that for me.
Yeah, so we're still doing announcements. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
Do you have an announcement?
I was just going to couple with yours. So once you copper a planner and you want some dedicated group work along with that, feel free to join my masterclass. It starts in October as well. So I already got my planner, y'all. So y'all late. And we can do Janelle's planner together while also exploring what your goals are with your career, with your personal life, or even in business. I need some fellow entrepreneurs up in this masterclass. So I guess we'll put the link down at the bottom for you to be able to enroll and access that. And those who enroll this time around, because this is the second round of the masterclass, will also be able to have access to a new development that I've created. It's a leadership assessment tool that will give you a baseline of where you are in your leadership growth, while also some tips on where you can start growing in that way. So feel free to, click that link down below.
Nice. So thank you all for listening. We are ending on time today.
Woo-woo.
I hope you all have a wonderful week, wonderful day, wonderful everything. Remember, set your boundaries. It's up to you to uphold them. All right, that is all. See you next week. Bye.
See ya.